Hi all, how you doing? Hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. So I'm going to talk about Metamax, okay? Now there's a lot of people obviously interested in this. The amount of people watching my videos and other people's videos, there's a lot of people watching it. So clearly, this is a big scam, okay, or a big Ponzi project. So if you're not aware this is a Ponzi project, you should be okay. You've invested in a Ponzi scheme. If you put any money into this, you've invested into a Ponzi scheme. Okay, so a quick um, explanation of what a Ponzi scheme is basically you handed over your money, and that money then goes to pay other people who got in before you, right? And then underneath you, other people get in, and then that money pays you, okay? And the cycle repeats. And eventually, not enough people are coming into the scheme to pay everybody, and the thing stops paying out. All right. So the people behind it make a profit by charging whatever, I don't know, 5% fees or something like that, whatever. Or they are include themselves in the upline and they get money. Okay. So they make a profit up to a point as long as people keep coming in, and eventually they won't make any more money. But because they were at the top, they'll make a ton of money basically. Or if they're just making on fees, they basically can't lose. All right. Now, another way that people lose, because a lot of people say, in the comments, they're saying, "Oh, I put $10 in and I've made $7,000." Okay. I don't know if that's true or not. Okay. If you've been in it a while, it may be that you feel like you've made some profit. But what a lot of people do, okay, a lot of people will just reinvest their profits because they think they're onto a great deal here. They just reinvest it. Okay. So they never actually take any of the profits out. And this is very common in Ponzi schemes. I hear it all the time. And I've been covering a lot of Ponzi schemes. Okay. So I've got big experience on this. You might say, who the hell am I? All right. So I'm a nobody, really. I'm just a YouTuber. Okay. But I've covered loads of these. So I've got a lot of experience now on these things. And I tend to sort of know how they go, how they run. All right. But many of you may be inexperienced. It may be that you got into this scheme by a friend. Okay. This is very common in these kind of platforms where a friend says, look, we can make lots of money. Join this. All you got to do is join below me. Okay. And that's how these things grow. That's how these big Ponzi's grow. They tend to grow from friends recommending friends or family members recommending other family members. And that's the worst kind of Ponzi scheme because when it all collapses, then you're going to get infighting between families and it's really bad. You get people falling out with each other for years and years because they got somebody, they got a family member into a Ponzi scheme and they end up losing $20,000 or whatever. Um, so that is very common amongst Ponzi schemes. So a lot of you are asking the question, is my money gone? Can I get my money back? Has it finished? All right. So the likelihood is that nobody's getting paid because the Ponzi scheme has run its course. This is what happens with Ponzi schemes. They run their course, okay? When not enough people come in, all right, there's not enough money to pay everybody out and it just fizzles out. Okay. And that's what tends to happen. Okay. So, and it looks like, judging by the comments, nobody's been paid for several days. So it looks like the Ponzi scheme has run its course. All right. So nobody's going to get paid out or hardly anyone. Okay. Maybe if somebody new comes along and pays out. But another thing I'm hearing also is that, uh, they're not actually paying out anyway. Okay, it's potentially that people behind it are actually just taking the money as well. That's another possibility. Okay, so I'm not too clear about that. All right, in a way, it doesn't really matter. What I would say is, if you're new to this and thinking about putting into Metamax, don't. All right, don't put your money into Metamax. That's one thing you shouldn't be doing. Okay, so what about getting your money back and those kind of things? Is that a possibility? Yes, it is a possibility, but it will take a long time, most likely. These things will often take several years. Okay, so we've had like Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme back in the day, which took like 10 years or something to pay out, I think. And that was a Ponzi scheme which only made 1% a month. Okay, so the percentages on that Ponzi scheme were very low. This one's much higher. Okay, you're getting paid, I don't know, really high, but quite high percentages per day. So, um, how can you get paid out is the question. Well, there's usually two methods. Okay, firstly, the people behind it um need to be arrested, and then their funds seized. So their bank accounts should be like frozen, and any money that they've taken from this Ponzi scheme should be frozen. Okay, so that's one method. The thing about that is very often lawyers and all of that will take a lot of the money. Okay, unfortunately, the people who actually lost in this Ponzi scheme, they'll probably be the last people to get paid out. Okay, lawyers, as you know, they'll take most of the money first, in my opinion. So that's one. Secondly, another method is clawback. Okay. Clawback is when people who are at the top in the Ponzi scheme make money. Okay. So if they put like, $100 and they make $10,000, let's say, so they've made $9,900 out of a Ponzi scheme. Well, effectively, if people know that, then you can claw that money back. The problem with that is many of these people have spent that money. Now, courts can make people get loans and things like that. If they've got a house to sell, okay, they can sell the house or get a mortgage in order to raise that money. So that is a possibility as well. So clawback is another possibility, but that'll be a long way down the line. Okay. First of all, uh, somebody has to realize that this is like a scam, and there's people behind it. Another possibility of getting money back is if you paid money into a Ponzi scheme with a credit card. Okay, but that is highly unlikely because what's likely to have happened is you've converted your money into USDT. Okay, so so what probably won't have gone through a credit card. Okay, so that is another possibility where you can get your money back from a credit card company. Okay, so those are pretty much the three ways you can get your money back. Okay, but I would say that this Metamax is probably finished with. Okay, you're not going to get your money back through how you used to get your money back. Okay, um, it's not going to operate in those ways anymore. So I would forget that from your head. Okay, forget that idea is going to materialize. So that's kind of where we're at with MetaMax, I would say. Now going forwards, thinking about investing in other things, I would stick to very basic things like Bitcoin. All right. Going forwards, if you want to invest your money in something, avoid stuff like this. So um click button Ponzi schemes, okay? That's what they're called, where you just click a button and make some money. If it's that easy to make some money, then you got to think something wrong here. It's too easy to make the money, all right? So if you've got something like that, it's probably a Ponzi scheme. So you need to avoid those things going forward. So what I would do is really dial it back on any investments you make and make 100% sure that you're going into the right things, all right? So stick to, I can't really say from a financial point of view, but let's say something like the FTSE 100, the Stan S&P, the top 500 shares, more solid projects, okay, blue chip projects, Bitcoin, okay, um, Tesla shares. I'm not saying going into Tesla shares, but something like that, something that is more blue chip stock. So if you really need to invest in things, avoid all this shady stuff, okay, and stick to blue chip stocks until you really know about something. Okay, so I'm not gonna say any specific things that you should get into. That's entirely up to you. The only thing I would say, actually, I would say Bitcoin. Okay, I think I'm safe on those grounds. BlackRock are investing in Bitcoin, and lots of other institutions are invested in that. So I think I'm on safe ground to say that Bitcoin is a good investment. Okay. Anything else, then you you can potentially be on shady ground. But definitely things where you're just clicking a button to make some money. Definitely avoid those things. They're likely to be a Ponzi scheme. So I hope you can listen to what I've got to say there. And hopefully that's answered some of your questions that have keep popping up in my feed. Um, so this is definitely a Ponzi scam, okay? And you're unlikely to get your money back through this, okay? And if you are going to get your money back through sort of official channels, like courts and stuff like that, it will probably take years, okay, is the bottom line. So what you should do mentally is probably write off the money. And if you ever get it back in a couple of years' time, you just look at that as some sort of bonus, okay? And that's how I'd look at it. Okay, so that's how you sort of need to focus from a mental point of view of losing money and that kind of thing. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe, do the usual thing. I'll leave a Discord link, and you might want to chat about it more in my Discord or something like that. I might create a channel actually specific for that, if you want to chat in there. Okay, thanks for listening, guys.